Ladies and
Good morning.
gentlemen,
Good
what's
morning,
going on? Hope
everybody.
you are having a fabulous Wednesday. Oh, Wednesday, goddamn. Saturday. If it's Wednesday, I'm late for work.
Not just yet. Not just yet, brother. We'll be debuting on Wednesday very soon enough. But no, we got this is the 10-2 first, and that is the Dubby Energy Wrestling Talk.
That's right. So let me go get my coffee while this intro plays. I'll be right back.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics. Officially licensed everything.
Good morning, Timothy Washington. My man, Scott Jackson. What's going on, Scott Jackson? Jordan, what's going on? AKA MCJB. My man, man of the hour.
Thompson.
Top of the morning to you, Michael K. How are you, Dan? Hope you are well over there in Buffalo. Man of the hour, what's going on, man?
Good morning. Good morning. It was good, y'all.
Well, before we get started, I just want to El Capitan is doing the Fans Tailgate Network, where it's a big umbrella that's going to encompass everything that's sports. You know what I mean? And one of the channels it's getting his own channel is going to be this channel right here. We're going to get our own channel exclusively. You know what I'm saying? So anybody who wants talk wrestling, you know what I mean, we could go over there and
Hell yeah.
What's going on, Mr. Polk? How you doing?
Good morning, Shake Money, Dolphin Winters, and Man of the Hour.
Brother, what's going with you, Mr. Paul?
Oh, that's what's up. Hey, you got all right. Congratulations, Michael K. What kind of dogs do you have, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, congrats.
So before we get that, now that I got that out the way, I was thinking before we're talking, and one of the things I want to say was that could this be? I'm not gonna say NWO per se, but could this be an opportunity for Tony Khan with his money to scoop up the WWF talent and go, you know what? Let's build over here.
Oh, okay, I personally say and feel that I don't think that's what it's going to be, because I don't see them overpaying people like WCW was. WCW was just purposely buying the talent, regardless of knowing that people contracts was about to expire. They were purposely just going after those dudes. And this go round, it's kind of different because this is actually WWE letting people go and not just having guys not re-sign contracts on purpose because they knew that they could go somewhere else to make more money. This go around, this is like everybody was shocked and hurt with the whole R-Truth thing, and you could hear it in the audience. They chanting for R-Truth during their live shows.
While they was muting it on TV. Go ahead.
They were trying to, but we heard it still.
Yeah.
It's like that's where it's different at, because like WCW purposely went and did that. Now can AEW benefit from it? Yes, they can. But
I think R-Truth is going back to TNA, to be honest. That's where he started his career.
I saw something about AEW.
Regardless
I don't believe that.
Regardless of where he goes, it's like, I feel like regardless of where he goes, hell, he might even come back to the WWE. Like nobody's saying that part.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's what I don't understand when people release this rumor. When they said this, they don't realize maybe WWE released him to re-sign him to a cheaper deal and stuff like that.
That's what it was. What happened was, Anthony, not to cut you off, they offered him a less amount on his new contract, and he turned. That's what's been the word on the street. They offered him a contract that was less than what he was making, and he turned it down. That's what has been said.
And I think Truth, and I think
Truth wants that guy choppy.
Yeah, he is.
But here's the thing though. Even if he turns it down, and he gets a better offer from TNA or even AEW, don't tell me he's not gonna make a move on that. If it's a better deal. I'm just saying.
But here's the thing about going to TNA. They have the joint thing with the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes no difference.
So it doesn't matter if he goes to TNA, he still could pop up on WWE television.
Yeah.
We've seen all these former. Dolph Ziggler did it,
the guy with the guitar. What's his name?
Yeah, Elijah now. You know what I'm saying? So
Man, and not to
We've
mention
seen that.
WWF can't get mad because they're the ones that let them go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but they're not gonna get mad because, like you said, they let them go, and it's like,
And I
WWE
think
is looking
WWE is
for.
trying to get younger too. Man of the
Oh,
hour.
They
they
are
are
because they
because they're
got too
bringing in
much.
younger talent.
They got too much going on. They got the Evolve. They got
Exactly.
the all those other
LFG.
LFG. So they're bringing
Mhm.
in these talents and whatever. And listen, I understand how people feel about our truth and maybe a little bit with Carlito and whatever, and everybody else was just
He
whatever.
can go back to his father's company. He
Son of
doesn't
a
have to worry.
biscuit. Let me over.
But but everybody is just nobody's complaining about other people. Everybody just
Yeah.
our truth as the number one, and then Carlito as possibly the second.
And
Surprise
You
or
know what?
whatever.
You know what it was. You know what it was, gentlemen. And this is what I'll say. What it is it's a shock because you think when you're loyal that long to a company that you would think the company. They like we all know this. If Vince was still running the company, our Truth would have a job.
I was just about to say that because
Okay.
I was just about
Dolphin
If Vince,
winners.
yo, what's
What's
up,
up?
brother?
Your mic is trash. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm on these cheap ass Bluetooths, bro. That's all I can do, and it's the weather's horrible here, so that's why
yeah,
my reception is probably
yeah,
bad.
no,
It's like
and Dolphin winners. You bring up a good point when it comes to that. People attack WWE for doing AEW and WWE are extremes on both sides. AEW has a bloated roster that they barely use, but WWE has a bloated roster, but they realize they have to cut the fat to open up more room for talent and stuff like
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
on the younger side. And
Mhm.
I don't know why people attack WWE and TKO for doing this.
Well, you know what, Anthony, I'm gonna say this because like I said, I've been watching wrestling ever since I was a little kid. When these moves, when we see moves, when I see moves like this being made, it doesn't upset me because I've been watching wrestling for years. I've seen wrestlers go from Florida wrestling with Gordon Soley to wrestling in Georgia or wrestling in Tennessee. I've
The
seen it
territory
many.
days.
I've seen it the moves
Yeah.
made many times before. Dolphin Winters, you mentioned I didn't see this much coming up. Well, some of these wrestlers go over to Japan, some will go to Mexico and be part of
Mhm.
those circuits. So
Bruiser
what I'm
Brody
trying to say,
wrestled in Puerto
much as
Rico.
hold up, let me finish,
Yeah,
Anthony.
man.
Much as I love wrestling, it doesn't upset me to see these things happen. I mean, it may surprise me, but it doesn't upset me because I've been seeing it for years where wrestlers go from circuit to circuit.
Yeah,
Well, here's the thing. The reason why a lot of people are surprised is that man just had a match with John Cena, and he got the same type of pop John Cena got, and he's not even holding the title. He knows how to put himself over. Like people like
bro,
that,
he
when
had a
you can
match
put
with
yourself
JC
over with
Mateo like a week after that. He had
yeah,
like a match right
right.
after that.
And then after that, that was it. Like it was like, wow, what the hell? Like it was one of those what the hell moments. So it's more shocking to the IWC. That's why it's a big topic because everybody knows that, and he's been beloved through the locker room. You've not heard one bad thing about our truth either in NWA when he was coming up through the underleagues of WWE, and then when he got up to WWE, there's not been one bad thing said about this man. And he is
Hmm.
beloved by the locker room, men and women.
Yeah,
So
So
it's
why
like kind of a
why am
they
I hearing
shock.
about why am I hearing about TKO possibly cutting more guys? I'm hearing stuff about Gunther
Yeah,
and some other guys
wait a
too.
minute. Well, wait a minute. You know the latest rumor. The latest rumor is I was sitting there talking to Shake earlier. The latest rumor is they saying they want to renegotiate Roman Reigns' contract, which is rumored that he's getting 15 million a year.
Yeah,
So
I heard Roman
I
pissed. Like
mean,
he's ready to leave too.
yeah,
Well,
Right.
I
he
don't
yeah.
It's
believe. I don't think.
but
I don't
but
believe. Honestly, I don't believe that rumor. That's BS. There is no way Roman.
Never say never,
I
bro. Never
you
say
can't
never
never.
say
you
never.
Never
can't
say
Look,
listen.
never.
look,
You
look at
cannot
look at
say that exactly. You can't say that you don't think it will happen to Roman.
Bobby,
It can happen
no.
to
I
Roman.
don't think
I want
Roman
chips
leaves
that look fried
WWE.
guys already.
no, but I
It's
didn't
not about him
listen.
leaving. It's not
Right,
about him. It's up to the company.
right. And here's the other thing. Look at what's the lady name? The one that calls herself Monet.
Mercedes.
Mercedes,
Yeah,
Oh,
Mercedes.
Mercedes.
Monet. I
Mercedes.
didn't
Yeah.
What
think
the
I
fuck?
didn't think I didn't think that she would not be in the WWE right now. But you see where she's at. She's over at EEW. So
My nigga
I don't know
drivers. Oh,
The
everything
reason
behind
why
that, but
she's in WWE is because Vince McMahon did not respect the women's division and didn't think it
mhm,
was important until Stephanie McMahon took that responsibility and brought the women's division up. That's the reason why. Because how are you a tag team champion and you're not on television and you always get to the stadium or you get to the arena and you change? You made me pay for my
Yeah,
travel, pay for my rental car,
Vince.
pay for my hotel. I
yes.
got my gear together, and then I get to the fucking arena 30 minutes before the fucking show, you tell me I'm out on the show.
mhm,
After a
Not
while,
even
that's demoralizing.
not
right.
even that
ride that bike.
not even that she wasn't on the show. That you just put the women's tag team titles on them, and you had her and Naomi both in single matches that night.
Right.
The night that
That
they
made no
walked out,
sense.
you're the defending WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. You're trying to give this title a boost and whatever, and then you putting them in single matches. Like that was the problem
Correct.
right there, and that was her second go round with the title. Like the first go round, they put the titles on them only to lose the titles quick,
Yeah,
and then
wasn't
the
it
the
with Bailey
second,
that she won the titles first?
yes,
No,
I
it was
believe
with Naomi. It was it
Now I'm
Bailey or
hearing Bailey.
Naomi?
I'm hearing
they
Bailey might go
they
indie.
won with
Like
Bailey.
I'm
She
hearing they
won with
might get rid of
Bailey.
her too.
She won with Bailey during
Yeah.
the pandemic era.
Yeah, she brought it up there. But what's crazy about that, I wish they would just let Bailey go. They're holding on to Bailey because they know Bailey's going to go over to the AEW. That's
But
the reason why they're keeping her in her contract.
and then
So
and
She's doing the same thing that
it's
she's doing the
petty.
same thing.
You think?
this is
She's doing the same thing that Tony Khan did to Ricky Starks. He's doing the same thing to Wardlow. They doing the same. They do the same shit. So you can't say one doesn't do that, another one doesn't. They doing
right.
the same gatekeeping
But
shit.
but but
Tony
this is
Khan does not want Wardlow to go to WWE because he'll be a superstar over there, and he's holding on to him as long as he possible until his contract is up. I guarantee you he's going to be in WWE very
No,
soon.
but the difference between Tony and what Tony does, Tony basically, I've heard rumors that people have asked out of their contracts a lot sooner, but because some of these guys, the perfect example of this is Ray Phoenix and Penta. Because of their
Oh yeah, that was
injuries,
a mess.
Tony adds like a year to their contract so he can keep them, and he doesn't even use them when they get back healthy. He just puts them on the bench because he knows they're going to go to WWE, so he just
That
put.
yeah.
And
No,
I don't think WWE. Let's be honest. I don't think WWE considers AEW a threat because they're more of a
Oh,
their fan base is more of the their fan base is very insular
Anthony,
and
if
they're the
that was the
90s
case,
wrestling fan.
If that wasn't the case, why are they putting the Great American Bash up against the Weekend of All In? If they didn't consider them a threat, you wouldn't go head up against them on the same weekend of one of their biggest pay-per-view weeks, like they did. They're gonna have a
That
whole show in total. They had a whole show in Texas. And they got the Evolve, Great American Bash, and I think another show competing with AEW the same fucking weekend. So you cannot sit there and
I
say that
don't
they
think
don't think they're a threat.
that's just
You
honestly I
know their
feel that's just a
competition.
coincidence. That's just
No,
a coincidence
bullshit.
that
no, that's not a
Bullshit.
coincidence.
Bullshit. That
These
ain't no
shows
coincidence.
these shows are all been these shows been
I just started watching
predetermined.
wrestling, so I want to believe in a
Listen,
coincidence.
okay, so look. Let me tell you this. We just saw a few weeks ago, even though it's not happening anymore, we're long away from WrestleMania, even after just getting past WrestleMania. Did The Rock not just come out on, I believe it was WrestleMania or before WrestleMania, and announce when next year's and where next year's WrestleMania was going to be? So they already know ahead of time where when these shows are going to happen.
They
So
took New
it's not like
Orleans.
something, it's not like, oh, let's look at this people's schedule and see, oh, okay, we're gonna go do this weekend too. Yes, they
WrestleMania
purposely
and
do it.
but this is what I want to ask you guys: is WrestleMania and the AEW pay-per-view that's in May or in April the same weekend, or Is
No, I just
is
what I'm. No, they're not. But what
No,
I'm saying,
July. We're talking about July. We're talking about next month. All in. We all in. All right. So I'll break it down to you, Anthony.
July 12th.
July 12th is all in, but they have Dynamite, Collision, ROH, Death Before Dishonor Friday, all in pay per view that Saturday, and I think they might have something. I think they have something on Sunday. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that. WWE waited months after to plan a Great American Bash, Evolve, and another pay per view the same weekend to go head up against them. So they
Mhm.
do consider them competition. What
Yeah.
WWE wants to do, they want to be, and we all know, and listen, like them, hate them or not, WWE is the largest professional wrestling company on earth. You can't
Yeah.
take nothing away from them. But
And you
what
talk
you
about
know is, and this is what you know, like anybody on this panel knows, even when it's a small company, you can't call them small because the AEW is worth $4 billion. So they are in competition to WWE. Even if you like it or not, they are competition. And I'll be honest with you, you can see where WWE mimics stuff from AEW and vice versa. It is a petty,
yep,
petty
yeah,
match. If you
yeah.
really pay attention to the little descriptive things
I,
or whatever, they each take a
and
piece from each other. And I'm like, well, didn't they do that in AEW? Well, damn, didn't they do that in WWE?
I
It's
brought
it's a carbon copy now.
I brought that up a couple of weeks
Right.
ago.
And
Did
Yes, you
oh,
did.
sorry, hold on. I brought it up a couple of weeks ago. Didn't I say about the whole thing with Gunther and Pat McAfee? And then we
Right.
see FTR and Tony Schiavone.
Correct.
Those storylines are basically similar.
Hmm.
and not only that, it wasn't long ago where with the weekly wrestling that comes on, we had Monday Night Nitro, and then the one on Friday. The other wrestling companies would actually, it was a time where uh, WWE and maybe TNA or even AEW had wrestling on at in the same day, the same
Mm-hmm.
night or day. So that right there shows that that the competition is there. And when we look at WWE is generations because of the McMahon. But that does not mean that they're gonna let their guard down to the point
Let's
where somebody can sneak up on
is
them.
WWE a generational fan base in general? Like
No, when I
when you
say
look at the fans,
Probably
generation,
so.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about generation they
Yeah.
own.
yes.
I'm talking about generation they
Yes.
own.
Yes. I'll be honest with
Well,
you,
real quick,
Anthony. The first time I watched professional wrestling was Spectrum Wrestling here in Philadelphia. I was like 3, 4 years old, and I was living with my dad over on Beverly Road, and here in Philadelphia. And I remember watching that. And the only thing I knew at a point in time was WWF until I got cable, and then I switched on TBS, and I seen Ric Flair, and I was hooked to NWA. I never looked at wrestling the same after that. And I was more geared to NWA than I was to WWE because it was the same old stick. After a while, I was getting tired of the guy popping up, pumped up, pointing at you, slam you, leg drop. I got tired of that. I like seeing people getting jumped in the parking lot by 4 guys, and they was holding all the titles, getting all the women. I love it. And seeing guys with spikes and face paint, Road Warriors, Ric Flair, Four
Mm.
Horsemen. That was more entertaining to me than what the WWF. Because after a while, that gimmick era, and they even admitted this, the gimmick era between I want to say late 80s or so to like early 90s, it wasn't good. Because remember, you had Mean Mark Holloway in WCW NWA when they were making that transition, and then he
Mhm.
went over to WWF, and then that's where Vince came up with the idea of the Undertaker. So people got to understand, like it's really levels. It really is levels to
Yeah,
professional wrestling. We want what we want as fans, but you might not be able to get it because it's not the right timing for it.
right. Because what started with me was wrestling from Florida with Gordon Soley.
Mhm.
And then I started watching the wrestling out of Georgia, and then like I said, you mentioned Dolphin Wonder, NWA, and what have you. And with me, with wrestling from Florida, you had the original, well, I should say original Briscoe brothers. You had Michael Graham and quite a few other wrestlers and what have you. And the thing about wrestling is that because of because time is moving forward, the wrestling evolves. It evolves, and along with the wrestlers themselves, the owners of the wrestling companies, they got to evolve according to to the fans and what have you. So, some things that we used to seeing years ago, we may not see much today, and but with me, I'm just hooked on wrestling. I just love it. I try to watch WWE, AEW. I got to try to find the station that shows TNN because TNA because I miss that wrestling. So with me, I'm hooked on wrestling. I'm not gonna lie, I'm hooked on it. It helps me get through the when football season is done over. That's what helped me get through. I ain't gonna lie.
Every time I travel somewhere, I try to find see if there's an indie show because I like to see the people that are on the up and up and the grind and actually love this that are not getting paid the millions of dollars like the people from AEW or
Oh yeah,
WWE or
Mhm.
TNA. I like to see that because that is straight up raw talent. I actually have a friend. I'm gonna try to see if I can reach out to him, and he's a guy on the indie circuit, and he wrestles, and I'm gonna try to see if I can get him on the show to talk to us about how things are on the indie circuit and stuff like that. How much behind the curtain he can take us. You know what I mean? Because it's levels to this.
And,
You got people out there that really want to get to that level, but it's hard. It's not easy.
and my thing, and one thing about with the releases of these guys and whatever, can we like stop? Like, okay, yeah, our truth it was a big thing, but this happens every year, y'all. This is every year.
True,
right.
but the
It's
way
happening.
It's
like I
it's
said,
always
I'm with you. Yeah, go
it's
ahead.
always after WrestleMania and whatever. Maybe not directly after WrestleMania, but like around June when these cuts happen. It stung everybody because of who was the victims this time around. And
Right,
but let's not act like this doesn't happen in other sports. When you're taken over by another owner and whatever,
right,
they're going to clean house no matter how
Exactly.
beloved
All
a
right, here's
person
a
is.
question for you. Here's a question for you, man of the hour. Here's the thing. I think, I agree with you 100%. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. But I think it's just the way it was done. You got to think this man just wrestled John Cena on his farewell tour. You got to think of this. He was just on Saturday Night Main Event, in a non-title match with him. Then you saw him going against a gentleman, Jeff Cobb, aka now JC Mateo, just on a program. And you thinking, okay, well, what's going to be the next thing for truth? But you never think, like, we all know contracts expire. We all know it's a business. But I think it's just the severity of the shocking nature of we just seen this man on TV and then he's just going on X and saying that, listen, my contract is up and I will not be coming back. And because everybody feels like Ron Killings, oh, this dude is over. He jokes all the time.
But
And
but
really everybody thought it was a joke and they
but
didn't
like
believe
you
it. And it's like, wow, like it's one of those type moments.
but like you said earlier, there was a possibility he still could have been with the company. He just wasn't going to sign for what they were offering him.
Absolutely. That's facts. You know
You,
what I
you,
mean?
you see
So,
what
I
I'm saying?
mean,
So he could have
right.
he couldn't have he wouldn't have been released had he just taken the offer, but he understands his value and all that. So
Mhm.
that's what that is. I'm not going to sit up
Right.
there and diminish myself to please you just to keep me here. I deserve
Right.
this. I deserve better. I'm already not wrestling and whatever, so I got to get my money some type of way. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And if you're not going to use me, then I understand where you guys are coming from. Whether as far as the company come from, like the same reason why they're going after Roman Reigns. You're too busy out here doing movies and all this other crap. You're not even on the shows every week. You're not
Right.
wrestling every week. You're not on Raw and SmackDown. But even back when you were the
I've been
champion, you wasn't
saying
defending the title
that.
on
I've been
TV
saying
like
that.
that.
I've been
So
saying
so
that.
when these
That's
people
why.
come
Yep.
when they and the same thing, Cody Rhodes, you wasn't defending the title like that and
Same
whatever,
thing. Same
so
thing. With Brock Lesnar,
Yep.
man of the hour.
exactly. But see,
Oh my God, he's a major example.
see,
Jesus.
Brock could have listen. had that shit didn't come up last year with Vince McMahon situation and Brock's name being dropped in it also, we never know. Brock probably would have been released too. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of these guys that would have gotten released and whatever. And I get the whole loyalty thing, but like I said, this is all over sports. This is no matter how loyal you are to someone or something, especially when it comes down to business, there's a chance that the business can screw you over. And it's only because you don't want to take the pay cut of whatever. Well, we see it in basketball. LeBron James leaves Miami because he wanted more money when that contract expired, and Pat Riley wasn't going to give it to him. Dwayne Wade wanted more money. Pat Riley didn't give it to him, so he goes off to Chicago. We've seen it like in multiple different places and whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a shock, but it shouldn't be a shock. Because I mean, we've seen I've heard Liv Morgan, when she had her little issue, when she went solo and they started pushing her up in the beginning of her solo run.
Right.
And she was crappy at the time. And they put her in the mix with Becky Lynch. And you hear her literally say on camera, she got Becky Lynch tied up and she slaps the shit out of her and tells her, "You're the reason why my friends are no longer here." Because they signed her to a big ass contract.
Yeah. I remember that was a shoot. I remember that shit.
You see what I'm saying?
I was like, damn.
Come on, now.
And just like I just mentioned earlier, I'm gonna use the word Miss Monet. She was just, I mean, she was in WWE, and then just in a short period of time, she pops up on AEW with a new name and what have you. So that and I'm gonna say it again. I've been watching wrestling since I was a little kid. These things don't surprise me. I'm used to it. I mean, I'm not trying to be negative about wrestling, but I'm used to it because
you're true. Go ahead, my bad.
No, I'm saying, and I'm through. I'm just saying, when I say it doesn't shock me, I'm not being negative towards wrestling. It's just that I'm used to seeing this because I've been seeing it ever since I was a little kid.
Exactly.
I've seen wrestlers leave from wrestling from Florida, and like I said, go and wrestle in Georgia. I've even heard of a wrestler leaving wrestling from Florida going to Japan circuit. So it's no surprise, and we see the reverse. We have wrestling from Japan coming over to Florida wrestling and Georgia wrestling and whatever. This is not new. It's still going on.
Let's also remember, because I remember as a kid growing up, we always knew Hulk Hogan for WWF. We always knew Ric Flair for the NWA/WCW. We remember all that and whatever. Who would have thought that we would ever seen Ric Flair in a WWF ring?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Who would
ever
thought?
I know.
I would never think.
I know this. I remember being a kid at that time, or I was a teenager. What was that? 91? Was that like 1991?
Yes.
Okay, so I was in like sophomore, junior in high school, and that was like crazy that we would ever think that we would see Ric Flair, because I didn't know Ric Flair and Vince had a great relationship, because Vince always wanted to get his hands on Flair. He always wanted to have Flair in WWF at a point. You know what I mean? He just was under, because things were changing over. Things were changing over in WCW. They wanted to go in a different direction. Flair, they didn't want to compensate Flair for his belt. That's why Flair took his belt. And people don't know that, because that belt was owned by Ric Flair. It wasn't owned by the company. So he's like, "Oh, y'all don't want to sit there? Well, I'm taking my belt and I'm going over there." Because I remember there was a point in time he blurred the belt out. I remember when Bobby Heenan came on there and he was like, "Well, that's a belt," and they had to blur it out because it was it was still recognized as the NWA World Heavyweight title, but it was really nobody in the story that he actually bought that belt personally. So. Yeah, I remember them days, dude. I remember that shit like it was yesterday.
So that's what I'm saying. Like when we were young, we never thought to see that, and then like I said, it happens in other sports. We look at like Joe Montana played for Kansas City, bro.
Yeah, I know. That still didn't look right to me.
You see
Look
what
at
I'm saying?
look at Fitzpatrick,
You
our
see what
former
I'm saying?
quarterback.
These are not those days were very different. Hell, Michael Jordan in a Washington Wizard jersey. Like, why you just didn't stay away from the game? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you retired once, and when you came back to the team you retired from. Then when you retired
Right.
again, and then you decided, 3 years later, you decided you wanted to play again, and whatever. You decide to go play for the team you got part ownership in, or whatever it was, and whatever, and you put on another jersey. Like, nobody thought we would ever see that happen. You supposed to have been a Chicago Bull for life, you know. Hell, Dan Marino ain't gonna play nowhere else.
No.
You see, so some do it, some don't, and some control it, and others can't control it,
Right.
and
Well,
whatever. So in the wrestling business, it's kind of out of the wrestler's hand, but you're gonna choose to work, because if you get let go of a company, that doesn't end your career. Like you mentioned Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks and whatever. So she did big time thing over here, having these first time ever type matches on Monday Night Raw with Charlotte Flair. Hell, I even heard Charlotte Flair say that Sasha is her Ricky Steamboat.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
So
reading. I don't mean to cut you off, man. In the hour, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm reading the chat, and I would like to sit there and say the Nerf and Peach tape. Wrestling, that fake word, it is nothing fake about what these men and women do. It is predetermined. It takes a lot of physical agility to sit there and pull off the moves that these men and women do on an everyday basis. Men and women have died in the ring performing these
yeah,
moves.
that
So it is nothing wrong. It is
it's
nothing
It's not
fake
fake.
about it at all.
because
It is predetermined.
it's
So y'all
predetermined.
need to chill with that shit.
Because the
Well,
injuries are real, the blood is real. Like,
Real.
come on.
Unfortunately, the death are real, because when Owens fell down came down from the ceiling and landed in the ring and passed away, that was not fake. That was real. Okay, so no, wrestling is not fake. I'm sorry.
Yes, the wins
And
are scripted, but that's it. So what?
that's it.
Predetermined. We've all
It's
known that it's
predetermined. Who cares?
predetermined. The thing about it,
You know what's funny? You know what's funny
Go
is people are now accusing the NFL of being scripted and fake.
That's a whole nother conversation.
And
But
also,
you know what? Like, I've seen a T-shirt that said "Wrestling is real, people are fake." So get that. Like, that's the reality right there. Because people are fake as hell. People are fake, because they'll sit in your face and smile in your face and act like they're your friend and act like this and that, and then turn around and talk shit about you to somebody else and whatever. So anybody that sits up here and say wrestling is fake, screw you, bro. Straight up.
Facts.
You know what's funny is almost. I don't know how can you watch that fake stuff. Hey man, did you see The Sopranos last night? You know that is fake too, right?
Exactly. Everything you watch on TV is fake. So don't give me this crap about wrestling being fake, because your favorite TV shows is fake.
Yeah.
Let's understand that. So anybody that sit up here and want to talk about being fake or whatever, look at what you look at on TV. And you tell me how that's real. Let's start off with a fake name that they're using. Let's start with that already.
And who was that running? Do you remember who that running back saying that NFL is scripted? There's a running back that's coming out talking about that.
A few NFL players have said it.
No, but you know,
I know who he's talking about. I just don't know exactly, because I've seen videos of NFL players talking about it. Trust and believe. And there are videos out there.
No, but I want to ask y'all a question, and then I'm kind of did Ric Flair ever make it to AEW?
He's been on it. He was recently on there when Michael, what did they make? Michael died. Steve Michaels.
I was there. I do one better. When they were in Philadelphia for Dynamite, when they was doing Sting's farewell tour, I was in the building when they surprised Sting with Ric Flair coming out. So I was there. So that was the first time he actually came in at AEW.
Exactly. So that's what I'm trying to say. Look when you look at Ric Flair, and then you also look at Sting's journey. Okay, Sting had a journey where he went from one circuit to another to another. And if I'm not mistaken, the last place he was in was AEW. So this is what
Did he
I'm
start
trying.
out? That's the question, Mr. Falk. Did he start off in AWA? Was it AWA or did he start off in another circuit before he went to AWA?
Because well, here's the thing with Sting. Dolphin one. I'm trying to remember because he used to be. He wasn't always a single wrestler. He was
I
with
know.
he was a
He
tag
was with the
team.
Dingle Warrior. He was with the Dingle Warrior, which is the Ultimate
Right.
Warrior. But here's
Okay.
the question,
Was that
Here's the question:
AWA?
where did he start? Did he start in the AWA or did he start in the circuit before AWA?
Okay, give me a second, cause I'm a y'all go ahead and talk to me. Let me look that up real quick.
Okay, but you know what I'm gonna say about Sting is like not the early days, but you know when you talk about the his later moves, like he's always been WCW, and the only reason
Right.
why he had to move from WCW is because the company was bought by WWE. So
Correct.
had it not been bought, he'd have stayed WWE. I mean WCW
Well,
for who knows how long until maybe its demise or until he decides to retire, because
Right.
he held off on WWE. He went to TNA, stayed over there for a while, and still did not do no, still didn't jump to WWE right away after his TNA days was over. Like he
Is
still
it wrong for
hesitated.
me? Is it wrong for me to say that I just couldn't get into seeing those guys in TNA? Is it wrong for me? I just couldn't. I
okay.
just couldn't do it. The only reason why I watched TNA at one point in time in my life was for AJ Styles. That was the only reason why I was watching TNA. AJ Styles was
Okay.
that dude.
Let me tell
Okay,
you.
real quick, I got the answer for y'all. He
All right.
started in an independent called All California Championship Wrestling. That's where he
Okay.
first started.
All
And
right.
then he went to Continental Wrestling Association, Universal Wrestler Federation.
UWF. Okay.
Mhm.
UWF. Because
Yeah, and then
UWF was on
WCW.
ESPN at one point. Yep.
And then
UWF was on ESPN back in the day. So yeah, that's
Mhm.
why I knew I see. That's why I knew I seen. I
That
think
so
I knew
that's
it was
when
either
he
AWA or something like
was
that.
the UWF was when he was with Ultimate Warrior.
Yes.
that's what he was with. They call themselves the Blade Runners
Yeah,
in 1987. The Blade Runners. Let me see.
because
Was that?
wasn't it because Ultimate Warrior was the Dingo Warrior at the time, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's the ultimate. When I look at the picture of the Blade Runners, yeah, that's the Ultimate Warrior right there. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, but yeah, you know, like as things like you know, like I said, his move from WCW out of WCW was because the company was no longer, and he didn't want to go to the company that purchased it. And you look at he went to TNA, which was a smaller market at the time, and still is kind of. And he went over there, but hell, he wasn't the only veteran guy that went over there. We've seen other guys. We've seen Kurt Angle go over there after
Yes.
he well so yeah it's almost like the same thing, like we seen Kurt Angle kind of go through this shit too, like and this was under Vince, you know, he got shipped it out of and all the championships and stuff he's done for the WWE, and Vince didn't care, so it's
Right.
like I will move on from whoever and don't care about whatever. We only look at Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, and you could, I guess, you could say Kane, even though he's not a television guy right now. But you know, those dudes, well, mainly Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, because during the WWE's struggling days, they stayed loyal. They didn't jump ship like everybody else did. They decided to stick around, go through the hard stuff and whatever, and then the company finally started to get elevated to where they wanted to be and above and whatever. But those two dudes there, as you can see, they kind of Shawn Michaels running NXT, Undertaker over here on what it is, LFG, and whatever, still involved with the company doing what he's doing and whatever, helping the young talent. Basically, that's what they're doing, and also Triple H is as well. You know, so I don't know. It's just
Booker T doing a little bit too.
Booker T, you know, even though he's not an original. I mean, even though Undertaker's not an original, but the Undertaker character guy is an original WWE product, and but not Mark Calloway. Mark Calloway was not ever a WWE guy.
Well, you gotta think Booker T was one of those rare gems that actually could make that transition from the WCW to the WWE.
Yeah.
And you gotta think, because there was a lot of those guys that tried to make that transition. They just didn't make that transition. You know what I mean? Because you knew, because the way I looked at it, like, I'll be honest with you guys, when Vince bought WCW and then he got ECW, like, I was excited, and then all of a sudden I was like, what is this? This is not what are we doing here? Like, what is this? Like, you know, one moment you thinking you're gonna get one thing, then it was to a point I would never forget. Now, I don't know when you guys had this moment, but I was watching Raw. I'll never forget one night I was watching Raw, and then the next week it was something completely different. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, well, what happened with that storyline? Where did you go with that? And he never came back. And we're like all sitting there like, well, what happened?
Yes, like, there's a lot of storylines that I'm like, well, I mean, Chris Benoit messed up the one of the best ones I thought was going to be with the Vince McMahon blowing up in the car.
Oh, man, yeah.
And Chris Benoit's death happened, and then here comes Vince on TV. Like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on here? Didn't he just get blowed up?
Hey, what about the other storyline that was messed up when Austin was supposed to take vacation and had to come back because people were returning tickets?
Yes, people wanted their money back because if Austin loses the match, he had to leave. And everybody from Monday Night Raw, all the fans on Monday Night Raw, they knew Austin was not going to possibly be there, so everybody wanted their money back.
Yup, because that's what they came to see.
Yep.
Yes. 316, the Texas Rattlesnake.
That's the same equivalent of people expecting The Rock to be at WrestleMania, and you got no Rock.
Like, and you know what's funny?
Man.
And you know what's funny was, me and Joe, we used to always talk. Man, we used to always talk about this shit. To me, the Monday night after a Stone Cold loss was more must-see TV than after a Stone Cold.
Oh, you ain't kidding about that. And he comes out to that ring and he is pissed off, angry. Well, let's say it like this: he's always pissed off, angry. But when he loses a match, he takes it to a whole nother level.
Bro, you always knew it was gonna be some shit when after the intro comes on and all that, and then Stone Cold music hit. I'm like, oh shit.
Here we go.
You knew.
You knew already.
Here we go.
You know what's favorite too? My favorite thing too is when they'll start off Monday night with the match, which they probably don't do anymore. They'll start with a match, right? And in the middle of the match, you hear the glass break. He stuns both of them and goes, "Get the fuck out of here!" You know, something like that. To that effect, he goes, "I got something to say."
Yeah, fuck your little match.
Well, you know what? They did something like that with the Brothers of Destruction. One night where I think Vince McMahon had did something that pissed him off, and during wrestling matches, all of a sudden here you hear the Brothers of Destruction music come out, and Kane and Undertaker come out and head to the ring, and wherever match is going on, they interrupt it and they start choke slamming in the rest that stayed. Yeah, I said, oh my goodness, and this was like a whole night. And I said, man, that was good. Now that was a good script right there.
Hey, what does it call it? One of my favorite things was when Austin had whoever he had in the ring, right? Because if you want me to whip this jabroni's ass and stop a mud hole and walk it dry, give me a hell yeah. Everybody go, hell yeah. You see the person like, come on, man, what the fuck y'all doing? Come on.
Yeah, they found a way. The fans wanted it. The fans wanted it. They gonna get it.
Yeah, the fans wanted it because that's why he stunned Stephanie. That's why he stunned.
So
even though it was a terrible stunner on Linda. It was a terrible stunner on Linda, but hell, she got it too.
Even the president got it.
Got Trump. Yep, got Trump ass.
That was funny.
He got Santa Claus.
Remember the first woman he did it. Yeah, when he did
Santa Claus,
when he did Santa Claus, that's when you knew he was like kind of like a face. You know, because that's when that Santa Claus segment, because Santa Claus was being such a asshole towards the kid and whatever, and that's when Stone Cold came out and confronted Santa Claus about it. And they had to make Santa Claus kind of be like the heel person a little bit in order for, you know, for them to like get Austin more on the on the face side, even though Austin was neutral.
Man of the hour. It's so funny. It's so funny that you brought that up, and that's a good question to the panel and even to the chat. Who do you think blurred that line between a glorified heel? Like, when did we get that one wrestler that even if he was doing heel stuff or even doing face stuff, he was just
he's like
who
the anti-hero.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny?
Who was that guy? Like, you know, that's the question.
In other words, you asking about a heel who stayed a heel, but yet was kind of well known to the fans.
Everybody loved even when he was a heel,
the heel that was loved.
Absolutely. Like Austin, even when Austin was a heel, he was getting pops.
Yep.
Like he was going against the certified like good guy, he still was getting a pop.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what they said? One of the original, and before Stone Cold, the original good, he was the anti-hero, but he was still acting like a bad guy. Was Razor Ramon?
Absolutely.
He was a face, but at the same time, he didn't act like a face.
No.
And now, do you notice that in today's wrestling, it's whoever you like is who you like. Yeah. It's no longer this guy's a heel, you have to hate him. It's no longer because this guy's a face, you have to like him. You know, because faces get booed too.
Yep.
Right.
He was the first one.
I think look what's happening with, if I'm not mistaken, Fatu.
But
yeah, Fatu, that's my dog right there.
Oh, that's my guy, bro. Oh my gosh, man.
But you know what's funny is it's funny that Cena, the people that used to boo him now cheer him, and the other way around.
Yeah,
they flipped it around. That thing was.
I love it. I'm happy as hell.
Hey, I'm the cheerer guy now.
Me too.
I'm the guy saying let's go Cena now.
You can tell me how sick I am as a fan. Thank you, Cena. I appreciate you, bro. I love it. This is what I've been waiting for you for 23, 24 years of my wrestling fandom. I've been waiting for you to act just like this. I've been waiting for this. Oh, man. I'm eating all this up. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
And then also,
I'll be watching tonight. Shoot.
No, go ahead, Dolphin.
I said I'll be watching tonight because we got When Worlds Collide at 3:00, and we got Money in the Bank tonight at 7.
Money in the Bank, yes.
Was it 6 or 7? Something was one of those.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be watching.
You also have fan favorite wrestlers that let's use the word that go a little bit dark, but not completely dark. Now I'll give you a good example. Sting. When Sting went to that, Sting started using
the Crow
character. It's like he went dark, and he started doing some heel things, but he didn't go too far.
Nobody knew what side he was on, because remember the NWO was trying to recruit him.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody knew what side he was on. Then they had to fake Sting's trying to trick everybody, making it seem like Sting was with them and whatever, and that was somebody else.
Right.
You know what's crazy? I'm about to bring this up. It's a little controversial, but I'm gonna bring it up anyway. If we didn't have the Columbine shooting, we would have had an angle with Alex, the Wonder King. He was doing an angle where he had the trench coat with the dark glasses, like in that dark stage. And we didn't have that, and definitely no disrespect to the victims of that, because it's still a stain in our country. You know, that's a very sensitive thing, and my prayers go out to those families. Not trying to bring up no bad moments, but if we didn't have that moment, we could have had a whole angle with they were going to go with that. They scrapped that whole angle because of what those kids did to those people in high school that day, and it was sad. The thing about it is, just think about it. That was right around the same time Sting was doing a Crow also, and the only reason why they was able to do that is because they were mocking them. They were mimicking the Crow persona, and that's the only reason why they could get away with Sting with the trench coat, because it was a part of the costume and the outfit. So wrestling, people don't realize that reality and wrestling is a real thin line, and you know, all it has to take is one thing to happen in society, and your whole gimmick is scrapped. I just watched the Dark Side of the Ring with the gentleman that played the Muslim wrestler right after 9/11.
Guys, coming to the ring from Alberta, Canada.
Oh shit!
Weighing at 200 and something pounds. The one, Essence of Execution, Crypto, the Hitman Heart.
I figured it was Crypto.
No, Hammer Valentine, my bad. The master of the Hammer Valentine. Crypto, the Hammer Valentine.
Yeah, that's right. I would say, damn, I didn't know I was from Alberta. I didn't know I missed.
My bad. I thought it was Hitman Heart. My bad.
No. No.
Shake, you need some
Greg Valentine, man,
bro.
When you're back, man, when it's back, you don't see the whole damn name for some reason. Next time I just got to look at the name.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, it didn't show you the full name.
No, I thought I said Hitman, so that's my bad.
Yeah, the Hammer.
Hey, Crypto, I didn't know Devontae Parker did a little wrestling also.
I didn't know that neither. Damn. Yeah, my man, Greg Valentine, the master of the finger four leg lock. I'm gonna put on some finger four leg locks. Come down with a hammer.
Yes, Devontae Parker wrestled for Crypto's Heart to be his number one wide receiver.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Right on that.
Hey, it was a love and basketball moment. What are we gonna play for? Your heart.
I know. Yep.
Yeah, but man, I like I say, I love wrestling.
But see, the thing is, remember him and Tito Santana? They had almost the same finishing moves.
Oh man, dude, Tito, that was my man back in the day. Shit about Tito Santana, man. I never forget being in grade school, getting a little fights in a fucking schoolyard over Tito Santana. You don't say nothing bad about Tito Santana. That was my fucking dude. Right. No bullshit. Like, he was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up.
Hey, one more thing.
You couldn't tell me.
Hey, one more guest that's in the backstage. I want to welcome one more guest. And the reason I usually just put him up here, but the reason I'm stopping is because before we bring him up here, let's wish this man a happy birthday all the way from Seattle, Washington. What's going on? Happy birthday, Tom.
What's up, Tom?
Hello, thank you.
Happy birthday, brother. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, many more.
And I like what you got up under your name. Stop plastic pollution.
I did that just for you.
I appreciate that, my brother. Appreciate it.
Tonk, I would normally ask how old, but that's not a good thing anymore. I always ask how young are you?
Yeah, 39 years young.
Right, exactly. You never
Hey,
ask
enjoy
somebody
it,
how
man.
old they are.
Enjoy
You
it.
need to ask them how young they are. That's how you do it. Never ask nobody how old they are. Always ask them how young they are.
Every
That's a
day
better.
we are today years old.
Except if their name
Yeah.
is Devontae Parker, then you can ask them how old. Nah, but go ahead.
So what's up
Oh
with the
yeah.
WWE? They ain't paying players.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
here's the
like I
deal.
said,
Well,
I think they're
they
gonna try to be
releasing
like
a lot of
the
them.
UFC because UFC.
Well,
Remember, Conor
but
McGregor's biggest payday was boxing. He never got paid like that in on the UFC.
but
Ever.
but you know there's reason for that because TKO owns both of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
Yeah,
it's
buddy.
like it's not like it's
Yeah, but I
the
mean, what do
choice.
you mean? What do you mean by not get paid? I mean, they have to get compensated for something.
They're not getting the basically they letting go of the the guys with the big contracts that are not really like everybody. We talked about R-Truth earlier. He had a big deal. So they cut him. They're just trying to make room for the new people that's coming up.
The young guys. Man,
Oh, okay.
did they do?
Mhm.
Did they get rid of Braun Strowman also?
Yep, they let him go.
Yes. They
I
got rid
figured
of
so.
Strowman,
I,
Shayna Baszler. They got rid of a lot of female wrestlers.
What's the girl who
They're
was
not
with?
done yet. They're not done either.
What's the
no, I
girl
don't
who
think
was with the
Yeah.
Viking Raiders or Raiders?
Oh yeah. I know what
Um,
you're talking about. Yeah.
Her, they let her go.
Valhalla.
Was this the
Hey,
women's
they let
federation? What are you talking about?
No, we talking
WWE.
about WWE.
Oh,
They
okay.
let go. They let go of Carmella, and we haven't seen her for years.
I thought Carmella was out
Yeah, they
because
let go of her. That was a messy situation.
having a
That was
baby.
messy because she had
Carmella
it.
had a baby
Well, what
like 2
happened was she
years
had an
ago.
injury. She had an injury first. Then she had the baby. Then I guess they didn't have nothing for her, and then they just let her go. That was nasty the way they let her go.
I
I
Wow.
was
thought
like, damn.
And what about her husband? Because her husband is
They
he's still
let
there.
the husband go
is that
too.
him?
He's still there. They
He's
brought him
on
back.
NXT.
My goodness!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a commentator for NXT
Right.
with Booker T.
Because at one time they took him off at one point in time, and then they brought him back.
Mm.
Crazy.
Okay.
You never know. You just don't know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
And
Booker T was
Daniel
all right. I
Taylor,
wasn't really a big fan of his, but he was all right.
man, Booker T was that dude, man. You couldn't tell me Harlem Heat. What? Harlem
Man,
Heat? Come on,
he,
man.
man, that was that man.
He,
Oh, man, that was good tag team there.
I
Harlem
got a
Heat was
funny,
yeah, man.
I had a funny feeling he tried to be like the junkyard dog,
Well,
in a
Booker
way.
T.
Yeah,
how?
No, I don't
the
know
way he
about that.
carried himself.
I mean, their characters. Well,
I mean,
I
the only thing I could see, if you were talking about Junkyard Dog, at least WCW's version of the Junkyard Dog, because
Yeah, yeah.
he was a Junkyard Dog was a whole different person in WWF.
Yeah. He
Ain't
was
gonna lie.
because he formed allies with Hogan and what's his name
Hulk
and
Hogan, we
Hillbilly
coming.
Jim.
Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
No, I
Yeah,
never
but
forget that.
Hillbilly
Yeah.
Jim and what's his name and
Hey,
they
so
fought
let
Big
me ask you
John
this:
Studd.
out of the, because there was only a handful of black wrestlers back in the day, right? Which one do you think was the best one, Coco Beware or Junkyard Dog?
I gotta
There
go
were
with Junk.
different styles, but I would say
Yeah,
Junkyard was more of a
Junkyard Dog.
power wrestler.
Yeah,
Coco was more of a finesse wrestler.
yeah.
Yeah.
Coco,
As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
Coco
but here's
Beware,
the thing. But here's the thing.
Coco Beware reminds me a lot of Shelton Benjamin.
Coco Beware was
Mhm.
give you the business. Don't
Okay.
ever think all that high flying shit. Don't put that high flying shit out there. No, Coco Beware could get down too. And people didn't realize it. When
Mhm.
he was stiff wrestlers, when he was in the Indies before he went to WWF, he was fucking people up. See, like I tell people, the way a person wrestles on TV is different from how they wrestle in person and or in an indie or a different promotion.
Mhm.
Sometimes styles make fights. So it might be a style that you're used to seeing a person wrestle, and then you see them wrestle in a certain way. Like, holy shit, I didn't know they could do that. Never
All right.
underestimate that man or woman because you never know. It's like you got female wrestlers that can wrestle technical, You got female wrestlers that wrestle technical that can do high flying stuff. You got some of those females that can do moves. You be like, holy shit, she never did that in WWE, or she never did that in AEW, or she never did that, because there's different fights. Like, I'll tell you guys an example right now. Mariah May is going to be fun to watch in NXT. Mariah May is one of the winningest world champions, not only in Stardom but in AEW. That whole storyline with Toni Storm will go down as one of the best storylines in female wrestling history. It was a movie. It was beautifully done. They knew what had to be done. They did it no holds barred, and Tony Khan let them do it their way. And I was happy that he allowed them to do what they needed to do and the way they did. I'm excited to see what she's gonna do. Yeah, blood everywhere. Like, holy smoke! You don't see. I mean, if besides a hardcore match, like what is it, GPW or GSW is another wrestling organization. Like GCW. Like they're really extreme with GCW. With they got a lot of extreme hardcore stuff over there. But you rarely see women spill that much blood. Yeah, I'm sorry, Liz. My mic is horrible.
No, that's okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, because my internet kind of in and out down here where I'm at. So
me too. It's crappy here. Like, it's overcast. It looks like it's gonna rain at any given time. Like, it's no sunshine here, and my reception is really horrible. I know that because of the overcast that we got.
You're in Philly, right? You said.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, shout out to Allen Iverson. Today's birthday too.
Hey.
Oh yeah, he had a birthday today too. Damn.
Yeah,
Okay. My grandfather's birthday was yesterday.
He turned a big 50.
Oh, damn. Couple of weeks apart. That's
Allen Iverson.
Oh, the AI, the problem.
Yeah.
In fact, before there was a
he called himself the answer.
Watch your mouth. He's the answer.
That's the problem.
He's the answer. What's the
We're not
question?
gonna talk about that. We're not gonna talk about that one there, man.
If he's the answer, if he's the answer, I want to know what the question.
Ben Simmons is the question.
Just before there's Miami Heat.
The question is what's the answer?
The Philadelphia.
AI was the answer. That's what. What's up, Color? I see you, Color, back. What's up, Greg?
Greg.
What's up, guys? Good Saturday morning.
Color. What's going on?
Color.
Let me talk.
Hey, by the way, real quick before you talk, Greg, tomorrow at 10 o'clock would be the debut of the West Coast Dolphin fans on the Fins Tailgate, baby. They're official.
Yeah, West Coast Dolphins.
I can't wait to see what HB's got cooked up for y'all. Winners, I can't wait to see what HB's got cooked up for y'all with graphics, man. It's gonna be fun.
I can't wait, man. I'm excited, bro. I really am.
I mean, he may not. I don't know. I can't speak for him. I haven't talked to him in a while. He may not be ready for y'all's first show, but I'm telling you, y'all gonna have some good looking stuff pretty soon, man. He's top notch, man.
Hey, Cully, you're a wrestling fan?
I am. I haven't watched in many years, Mr. Paul, because I just kind of got bored with it, I guess, over the years. But I'm a lifelong fan. I watched it like my dad. I grew up watching it with my dad, and then I got out of it for a while because you grow up in life and all that. And then I got back into it when I got married because my wife was into it as well back then. So I got back into it right when DX and Stone Cold and the big changeover happened from WCW to WWF. Right before they got sued by the World Wildlife Foundation and had to change. I got back into it then. I ran through that whole era up until the point where I've never watched one John Cena match. So like right before John Cena came onto the scene, I stopped watching again.
Okay.
John Cena.
Hey, lucky you.
What a way to stop.
I just, they had run the course with Stone Cold and The Rock. Obviously those were the two biggest names for God, at least a decade.
The Undertaker right before that.
Yeah, and it's like they were still trying to milk all that, and it's like, okay, this is dead right now. You know what I mean? I always put it down when it gets a little dead. You know, then when it starts ramping up again and more people are talking about it, it's like, okay, I want to find out what's going on. You know, seems interesting again. You know, but I've always loved it because it's always been an instrument for them to tell real stories and teach us a lot about sociology and stuff like that, man. It's a real good, I think it's one of the things that makes America great and separates us from the rest of the world. It's one of the things that makes us exceptional when we talk about American exceptionality, you know what I mean? Because we actually learn from wrestling growing up. We learn things that other places people don't learn.
Yeah, I agree with that. 100%.
Ways to be and ways not to be, and ways to think and ways not to think. We learn all that from wrestling growing up. I think Vince McMahon should get a Nobel Prize, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen after this lawsuit.
Yeah, it's probably been put on pause for now.
Well, I don't know, winners. They finally unbanned. They finally unbanned what's his name from baseball. I don't know. It's possible, man.
I know.
That means he has to be dead, though. That's the thing. So he has to. This man has to be dead
to
get the Nobel Prize.
Jeez, that's just. I couldn't believe when I read that. I couldn't believe that. I'm like, y'all waited until this man died.
I know
that. Then y'all unbanned him. Like, really?
The insult had to continue on into death. You know what I mean? It's like, Jesus.
Right.
I said, wow.
That is insane. The virtual piston on his grave.
Exactly.
Wow, like, wow, why did they do that?
He pissed somebody off. He pissed somebody off.
Man, I was like, that is crazy.
That's okay.
And then they probably use the same reasons to justify unbanning them.
Hey, that's okay, because I don't believe in the supernatural, but I also don't not believe in it. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying that there might, Pete might be up there right now going, yo, I've got more power than I had in life. You know what I mean? Since I'm in the supernatural now. And I just think it would be funny if baseball all of a sudden collapsed and had to go out of business completely. You know what I mean? Like nobody watched it because Pete's up there pulling the strings. You know what I mean? With his newly found heavenly power.
Somebody with that many hits and that many freaking
that's why I reserve the right to believe if I'm ever convinced, because what if there is an afterlife and all these people get an extra bit of power when they're up there to control what happens down here? You know what I mean?
Hey, Color, would you say Pete Rose? I mean that Pete Rose is the Aaron Rodgers of baseball. Was the Aaron Rodgers of baseball?
He could be. He could be.
Thing is, I don't know if Aaron's gotten banned.
He got a couple champions. He got a couple championships. He don't just got one.
Yeah,
he won one here in Philly and won another win, I think, with the Reds. So
the Reds,
he got two. He don't just have one.
Yeah. He won as a manager too.
Yeah.
I think he won as a manager.
Yeah.
Who were the
Cincinnati Reds
he got three. Him and after him?
So he got three. Yeah, he got three. He got one with Philly and then two with the Reds.
Name another famous Cincinnati Red.
Johnny Bench.
Okay, there you go. All right.
Oh, I forgot. Man,
pulls out the Johnny Bench.
Johnny Bench.
Yeah.
You know, that was his rival. Man. They were rivals, dude.
That's a household name for you. No. Hey, didn't he used to make those pork sausage commercials back in the day?
Yeah.
Wasn't Len Dykstra?
Yeah. He's a household name. Johnny Bench.
Doesn't it? Yeah, he does infomercials now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
For like hair products or something, or anti-inflammation treatment or something. I don't remember.
Gotta get paid somehow.
Nobody will ever surpass the GOAT. Nobody will surpass Billy Mays.
Bucky Dent.
Look,
I'm
Greg
thinking of that
is a
Seinfeld episode with Steinbrenner. He just keeps repeating all the baseball names. Bucky Dent. Bucky Dent.
Oh, I got a question for the panel. Who do y'all think was the best wrestling manager? Whether it be a man or
both. Okay.
yeah. Let's
That
say
they
It
was
has
both.
to be
okay.
Jim Cornette, bro.
Heenan.
Tiffany Stratton.
Mr. Fuji.
Jim
Heenan.
Cornette is
Mr.
the most
Fuji.
vile, evil manager ever to walk the ring, man.
Yeah, Heenan. I
Mr.
like
Fuji
Heenan.
I would
wasn't
say
bad
Bobby
either.
Heenan is definitely
Bobby
up
Heenan,
there.
yeah. I mean, you're
Yeah,
looking Bobby
yeah.
Heenan and Jim Cornette would be like the tag team manager
Mhm.
champions.
And you could
Okay.
throw in whatchamacallit if you want to go 6-man, 3-on-3, put Paul Heyman in there.
Oh yeah, Paul Heyman,
Yes,
and
sir. Paulie Day.
also the
Paulie
guy that
Davis.
used to be
Yeah.
the
Paulie
referee.
dangerously, yeah. Paulie.
Yeah, the guy that used to be the referee too.
Oh,
Teddy
Black
Long.
guy.
Teddy Long.
Oh,
Teddy
please.
Long,
Long,
yeah,
yeah.
Teddy Long,
Teddy
yeah.
Long. Teddy
Yeah.
Long. Yeah.
Mhm.
I won't
With his
say
dance-
what
dance, yeah.
what his nickname was. It's probably not PC anymore.
You know what's funny is I used to always get Teddy Long confused with the guy from Blackstreet. I used to call him Teddy Riley all the time. Like, I know that's Teddy Long.
Fuck you up, Shay.
Shay be hitting them home
That's
runs.
fucked up. Teddy Long singing Rump Shaker, huh?
Oh yeah, Paul Bearer too. The guy Paul Bearer too. The
Yeah,
guy
that's
that
Yep, from the Undertaker.
yeah,
Oh,
Kane
yeah,
and the
Paul
Undertaker.
Bearer, he was very
Yeah, Paul
Percy
Bearer.
Pringle.
Hey, for him to be all this, that long run with the Undertaker, and then you turn on him.
Yep.
Like,
Percy
what?
Pringle.
And what a name
I
too.
forget that part. Hold on, man. He turned on the Undertaker?
Yeah.
Yeah, back when he was with
He
Kane.
brought
When he was with
he
Kane.
brought
Kane.
Kane.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And
got
in
you,
real
okay.
life, in real
don't-
life, he was the Undertaker in real life also.
You said
Oh,
what
he
in real
was.
life?
Yeah,
Real life, he
yeah.
was.
And he betrayed him in real life.
Yes.
He was.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it was just a part of the storyline.
Damn, he's an Undertaker for real, huh?
But what a fantastic name though. As far as the whole gimmick with the Undertaker and Kane and all that, Paul Bearer.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Bearer, like
He was a literal. He
Exactly.
really worked in the
The old
funeral
Paul
home.
Bearer.
He really came from
But
that.
the Paul Bearer could be picked out of a crowd. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But it's usually, for my funeral, it's going to be the Dolphins' offensive line. So
Now,
they
what
can
about
let me down one more time.
let you down just one more time,
They
yeah.
can let me down one more time. Exactly.
I thought you was gonna say Tua was gonna be your Paul Bearer.
Oh, the whole team. Yeah, the whole team.
Here we go. Here we go. It's only June, and we starting off.
Stephen Ross is going to be the lead Paul Bearer at my funeral.
No, actually, that's gonna be Pete's Paul Bearer. Tua's gonna be Pete's Paul Bearer.
Stephen Ross, Chris Greer.
Tua's gonna be Pete's pallbearer.
Right?
Yeah.
No. Listen, Tool's gonna be the one doing the service. Or he's gonna be the minister over.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Mr. Paul, he's the left arm of God, right? So he's the one that's gonna deliver the justice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. The left one.
It's gonna be a Polynesian type funeral.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, I can picture now Pete before they pick up Pete, you know what I'm saying? Pete wakes up, hey, you gonna let this noodle arm carry the casket? Hell no. He's gonna
I really don't think he's gonna be able to make it in the hole, man.
Damn, Shake. That's a good one. Hey, the noodle arm let me down. Oh man. That is crazy.
But now let's talk about the lady managers. Who you think
Elizabeth.
Sensational Sherry.
Elizabeth.
Sensational
Sherry. Sherry Montez.
I don't care what you say. Elizabeth was gorgeous.
But I thought,
but she wasn't a badass like Sherry.
I thought the question was evil.
Well, she
Sherry,
was
sensational Sherry.
she was not really evil, but Macho Man was not really he was not a good guy. You know what I
Macho
mean?
Man was crazy.
He wasn't
Thank you.
really a
Say
good
it
guy.
again, bro. Like
And,
he did a legit shoot. He smacked a female live on television, bro. They cut that from the library and everything. That was a legit shoot when he smacked Stacy Keebler. That was not supposed to happen.
So
Like he
Winters,
literally
Wait a
went
minute.
there and yeah.
so Winters, Macho Man, right? That whole thing when
Yes.
his love for Elizabeth, like that was when the first time they like
Yeah.
turned and
Well,
they
they were actually
showed.
married before.
Well, right, but
Yeah,
up to that
exactly.
point, he was nothing but a crazy nut, and that
Fact.
storyline allowed them to humanize him and
Mhm.
kind of get the fans on his side because of his love for Elizabeth and all that. Could he be the first attempt at an anti-hero in WWF?
I mean, I'll say this. I met him personally. He's one of the coolest
Mhm.
wrestlers I've ever met in my life. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I met him WCW roided era. This dude's arms was both mine combined. Like no, he's about I want a title shot. I'm like, bro, you can have the belt. Well, you can have it. I'm
Mhm.
giving you the belt. I'm not even doing this, man. She started cracking up. He said, no, I'm just joking with shit. So, but like
Mhm.
he's cool, but he was legit. He was nuts. He
Yeah.
was
But
literally
you get what I'm
crazy,
saying,
bro.
And
though,
you come
right?
out with
You
them
get what I'm
long,
saying,
them
though, right?
crazy
Because
looking robes.
after that, it was the lines were blurred between. It was okay to root for
Yeah,
the heel, the bad
But
guy,
but
after that point. You know what I
I
mean?
think, but I think they
yeah.
Mhm.
slow. I think they kind of turned him face when they made him and Elizabeth's situation
Right,
public.
but he was still
Yeah.
abrasive and
He's
nutty and all
normally
crazy.
Oh,
exactly,
he was
yeah.
still
That's
no,
what
he
I'm
was
saying.
still
It's like the
This was
first
before the Mega
anti-hero,
Powers
like
combination with him and Hogan.
but he was still
yeah.
nutty and everything. But because
Yeah.
of he was a
like he would
nutty.
still cheat. He would still
When was
choose Elizabeth
Macho
to
Man
cheat and all
nutty?
that
Holy crap!
afterwards. Like he was still doing bad things, like cheating with her and all that. Like
Right. He was just we're a sinister character. He was more of a
Yeah.
sinister wrestler.
right,
Yeah.
but the
He was
fans loved him after that point. So that's what I'm saying. It's like the first time that they had like this kind of Rock or Stone Cold guy where he's like, hey, he's a rule breaker, but the fans love him. You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
Right, and it's all because of Elizabeth, and then all
Yeah,
they
an
then all of a
anti-hero. They
sudden,
made an anti-hero out of
yeah,
him.
then
Yeah,
all of a sudden
Ric
the
Flair,
mega,
whenever he was a face, he was kind of like the anti-hero too.
yeah, and then the mega
Yeah,
Because
he
powers,
that's
was
what I was saying. He was a
everybody's
glorified
favorite
hero.
person to hate.
and then the
And what's
mega
Yep.
powers
Pretty
happened, and
yeah.
then they
what's crazy
broke
about
that up real quick.
Macho Man Savage is that his brother is the opposite, leaning
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lenny
Ethan
Lenny
Lane.
Poffo.
Lenny Poffo?
Yep.
Yeah, his
you
brother, yeah.
really
Yeah. The
would think
opposite, exact
that they would
opposite.
be
Yep.
brothers.
Another good anti-hero early on. Now
He's
you could
yep.
throw Sting out there too as a good anti-hero, but one of the first good anti-heroes was Lex Luger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
He kind of had
yeah.
his
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. We talking.
Horseman,
No, wait. We got to go
Blade,
back now. Wait. Now, Carter, that's a whole thing. Because remember, Luger wasn't just a good guy all of a sudden. He was a part of the Horsemen at one point
right,
too.
The Four
right. He
Horsemen,
was
yeah.
right. He was the
What
stepchild of the Horseman because he was the add-on that replaced like
Mhm.
Foley or somebody. Yeah.
what I didn't like about
Right.
Luger is what they do on AEW now. They don't know if they want you to be a good guy or a bad guy. And that's
Facts.
the thing.
Yeah.
We look at MJF when he had his little so-called good guy run with Adam Cole.
But that's
Oh,
because
that was
they're
funny. That was
man of the hour.
hilarious, bro.
Man of the
That
hour.
was
That's
funny
because
as
their
shit.
writing team doesn't know how to write an anti-hero.
Oh, I know.
what I mean?
Oh, I
All
know.
the time.
Trust me. I know they don't even know how to do a lot of things they don't know how to do over there at AEW. But hey, when AEW first started, it was good. But because it was fresh and it was something different away from what WWE was doing. But now
Right.
now here we are 5-6 years later, about to be 6 years. Now it's sloppy.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But you know what I think that is because I think in the beginning, remember Jim Ross had a lot of input, and I don't think Jim Ross is has much as input as he used to.
I think it's because Tony
He's
Khan.
not there.
Well,
Tony
maybe
Khan.
that can be true, but I mean, still,
Nah,
I mean,
it's the new class of writers, young writers coming
yeah,
up. It's just the
because
same reason Hollywood is going to shit now. The movies suck because the writing is terrible, like across the board in entertainment altogether.
they're not finishing story. They're not finishing
Well, yeah, well,
storylines.
And they're
actually, it's
telling
been
you,
outsourced.
telling instead of showing. You know what I mean, man? Of the hour, it's like,
Right.
Yeah, they don't finish storylines over there, and it's just like what happened with the whole MJF and Adam Cole thing?
Right, exactly. How do you sit there and bring him back, and then all of a sudden he's the good guy, and all of a sudden everybody's cheering like, wait a minute. Remember, you attacked me, you betrayed me, and that just the whole storyline went to the wayside.
Right, you stole the mask from MJF. Y'all were trying to make MJF a big time face and whatever, and then all of a sudden, yeah, Adam Cole got injured. That's another thing that happened.
Yeah,
he broke his ankle, and he even made an appearance as a bad guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you disappear, and now you come back. Now you're a good guy. The same thing with the other guy who what's his name? Who was part of the elite, whatever they call themselves, the Paradox, whatever.
Oh,
whatever they call themselves.
The little skinny guy.
What's the other dude name?
Skinny guy. Oh, what's his name?
He always yells your name. He'll yell.
Yeah, what the fuck is his name? I see his face.
Yeah, that dude there, like, so you just gonna turn him good out of nowhere, just like that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, no reason, just because Adam Cole decides to come back from injury and then side with him and whatever. So now he's the good guy. I'm waiting for at the time I'm thinking he's gonna turn on Adam Cole, and the whole time it never happens.
Well, here's the thing.
And now y'all got a new name, the Paradox. I think that's what it's called.
Paradox.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That shit garbage.
I pray and hope Adam Cole's contract runs up with AEW soon, so he can go back to WWE.
Nah, I think he all right where he at. I don't.
Yeah, he's good. He's WWE already.
Yeah, he started there.
He's good with AEW.
Adam Cole, know what? It's my opinion, but I think Adam Cole's been booked like shit in AEW.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, but I don't see him being the fit over here. I don't see him being the fit with WWE though.
I think he's too
set up.
I think like I read somewhere, I think he's just too small, like his body, and not to make that as an excuse because there are other small guys.
But that's the way I was thinking.
But
man,
he's fragile.
Same thing.
He's fragile.
Right.
Well, I saw a wrestling clip the other day.
Where's his wife at? The one that's a dick.
They're not together no more.
What?
They're not together no more. They've been broke up, bro.
You talking about?
Why do you think she went on TV?
Britt Baker, yeah, they broke up.
Good grief.
So I saw a clip the other day, and it had this old dude in the ring, short, kind of chubby old dude, and it's like, look at this decrepit old ass guy. Who the hell is this? I realized it was Kurt Angle.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm like, holy shit! What the hell happened to Kurt Angle, dude? Damn.
It takes a toll, bro. It does take a toll on your body.
If you want a anti-juice advertisement from the government, they can star that dude. Wow, man.
Well, I don't think it's the juice. Remember, I don't think it's the juice. Remember, he broke his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He probably.
He broke his neck about 4 times.
All right, I'm sorry, Kurt.
That's probably why. Yeah.
You said they call him Kurt. They call him Kurt Angle.
Hey, but I tell you what you call is anti-juice? Freaking Lex Luger. Holy crap!
Listen, Kurt Angle.
Yeah,
looks like
he's definitely strong. He's a raisin now. That's all he is.
Yeah,
is a raisin.
Yeah. Hey, Kurt Angle looks like Kurt Angle looks like he's wearing an invisible neck brace.
Yeah, like he's stiff, right? Like he's stiff.
He
invisible.
He is. All you need to do is add some milk.
The invisible neck brace.
Yeah, that's what Kurt Angle looked like he's
They
wearing.
replaced his
'cause he
spinal
turned his
column
head.
with a broomstick.
Well, y'all killing me up in here. Good grief.
Yeah,
God, come on, y'all harsh. Oh, Lex Luger a raisin? That's fucked up.
Good grief.
Damn. What the fuck? That's so messed up, bro. Jeez.
I mean, Ric Flair looks like an old lady with no bra on. I mean, what can
Oh my goodness, boy, y'all killing them.
Oh no.
Oh, I know what I wanted to say.
Real quick, and if you're wondering how I know, go to a beach in Fort Lauderdale. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Hey, so Winters.
Yeah.
I have another problem with AEW.
Okay.
How many times are we gonna see the Rock and Roll Express get their ass kicked?
I mean, I was watching them get their ass kicked when I was 7 years old.
It's gotta be a good payday for them to go on TV and get their ass kicked for a good 2-3 minutes.
Bro,
listen, if I'm old enough to be able to still take those bumps, if I'm old enough to still take those bumps, and Tony Khan gonna sign the check for about 10 to 15 minutes, and I'm gonna get my ass kicked real quick and collect a check, I'm gonna take my old ass out there, take those bumps, and collect that check. I don't give a damn. You better wheel my ass the fuck in the back.
Hey,
shit.
I get it.
Is it
but
still
I'm
the
just
same
saying-
dude? Bobby Gibson, I think.
It's the same guys.
And bro, they still got the
color.
mullet. They still got the mullet.
Still got the mullet, same color, same clothes, everything, bro.
Yeah.
Bro,
Everything.
Here's my thing. Like, y'all don't want to at least like get over at least once. I mean,
Hey, listen.
I understand. You gonna get
Are you trying to say that the Rock and Roll Express is the who's that dude that drank out of the urinal that one time?
Oh, what the hell? What?
He always used to lose. No, there was a dude that always used to lose in ECW. Always used to lose.
Oh, you talking about what's his name? Oh, what the fuck? You ain't talking about you're talking about Spike? You're talking about Spike Dudley?
No, it was a dude. I forgot what his name was. Damn,
Or the
I remember he
Dudley
drank out
Boys.
of the-
Remember the
dude,
Dudley
I remember
Boys?
he
It's
drank
like
out of
them.
the urinal one time.
I remember it. That's what I said. Spike, you had Spike, you had Big Dudley, you had Bubba, you had Devon.
Shake, this not the guy who used to pat himself on the back, was it?
No, not him.
Not him? Okay.
He actually beat
Got it.
Sandman. He didn't want to, but he actually beat Sandman on his last match. I forgot what his name was.
So, from what I understand, the Rock and Roll Express were I don't know if they still are, because I know WCW at the latter part of Bischoff, they had started to bring those titles back for story writing, but I think they were still the last ones to hold the NWA tag team title, and to this day are still recognized as its champions.
Wow. Wow.
They used to catch hell with the Midnight Express.
Because I remember WCW actually tried to bring those titles into their storylines for a minute.
Right.
Right around the end of the Wolfpack and all that. They were starting to talk up the old NWA championship belts, and the Rock and Roll Express came in for a stint, and they were still holding the belts. And when the organization went under, I do believe they're still listed as its last tag team champion.
Now I know who I'm talking about. Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer.
Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah,
I remember Tommy. He didn't used to get beat all the time. No, he would get jumped and beat up, but he wouldn't lose all the time.
There's one name that I just popped into my head that I have in all the many episodes you've done, Shake, talking wrestling, and we all talk about our favorites and all. I ain't heard one name in so long. I'm almost like we all forgot it.
Tiffany Stratton.
Big Boss Man.
Yo, he was a very agile big man.
Yeah, from Georgia. He had the flat top haircut.
Him, Big Boss Man.
The corrections
Big
officer.
Boss Man. The Big Boss Man character was kind of like Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yes.
except in
Mhm.
a except in
Basically
a
like that.
corrections officer uniform.
Yeah, because
Exactly. He was like Bam Bam Bigelow in the correction officer uniform.
remember
Right,
the
because he had two
storyline.
big guys that were very, very agile and
What about?
Yes.
very good
Hold
on
on,
the
I
Hey,
field.
got one
hey,
for
hey!
y'all.
You remember when the big boss man fought the Mountie? That was funny. The
What
quarter.
about the
Oh
British
yeah.
Oh yeah, the
Bulldog?
Mountain. Yeah, that was a good one, Shay. I liked it. That was a classic matchup.
The
What
British
about?
Bulldog was more power and strength. He was definitely Davy Boy was definitely strong as hell. But like he wasn't agile. Like those guys were agile. Like you could
Yeah,
see how Big Boss Man worked. He was a great worker. You could see how
yeah.
Bam Bam.
Right,
You
right.
never seen
Jake
Bam Bam
the
doing.
Snake. He
You
was
know,
like the original Chris Benoit.
Right.
Hey, but
Jake
you know
the
what's funny
Snake
is
was. You know what's
but you know what's funny? My the only house show I went to was WWF, and the main event was Stone Cold and Mankind versus The Rock and Big Boss Man.
Oh, I
Nice.
remember that match.
wow.
I remember that match.
Mankind,
That
dude.
was a house
Mankind
match.
is
Yeah,
legend. He's a legend.
yeah. As a matter of fact, it was in
He's one
the
of my
Panthers
favorite
uniform.
all
Yeah.
time.
Who you said tough?
Which one?
You talking about
Tom?
just
No,
mankind?
Yeah.
Mankind, not his other characters.
Mankind.
Mankind.
Oh,
Mankind in particular. Yeah, I
Nick,
was.
Nick
I
Foley,
grew up
the
with
Nick
Cactus
Foley
Jack.
version.
Nick Foley.
Nick Foley
I
version.
grew
Okay.
up with Cactus Jack. That's how I always knew him as.
But I didn't like the
Yeah.
which one had the puppy?
You talking about Dude Love?
Dude
Tough,
Love.
the
Yeah,
one
that was
Oh
cool.
Dude
yeah,
love.
not
he
that
had like
character.
the
Yeah,
Dude
no
beard.
puppy.
love. Oh my
No,
god.
we got to get that out of here. We got to get that out of here. Take that shit to ECW.
Hey,
Take
Dude
that
hey,
Love.
do
shit
you
over there to
remember?
fucking
Hey, do you remember that
PCW.
Royal Rumble when he came? There was a Royal Rumble when he came in as all four characters.
He was
No, I
Yeah, that was
didn't.
What?
crazy.
Oh,
How
I
the
missed
Why?
that
fuck?
one.
I
I
gotta
gotta
pull that
check
one
that
up,
one
Shake.
out. That I
Hey,
missed that
Oh,
one.
hey,
boy.
yes, hey, I remember that, and I'm like, bro,
Wow.
they were
I
cheating,
didn't.
bro.
That's crazy.
They
So
were
he couldn't.
cheating.
He looked like. So you're saying he was dressed like Two-Face, but Four-Face.
Yeah. So look,
Oh, that's
Really?
cool.
for
I
Yeah.
you,
missed that one,
for
bro. I
you
don't
to
know how I
That's
missed that one.
crazy.
hey, for you to sit up there and say it's a 30-man Royal Rumble, no, it was 26
Right.
What's the
Exactly.
difference?
The four guys in one.
because Mick Foley was
Oh,
all four characters.
So
Right.
okay.
did he? So
Exactly.
did he throw
No, I
himself
didn't. I
out the
didn't
ring?
realize the point you were making. Yeah, I
Yeah.
see.
That man, those
That's
matches
crazy.
with
Man,
FMW are
I'll never,
legendary.
bro.
Those
I'll
are
never
crazy ass
forget when he
matches.
fell through that cage and then
And
got
hey,
Dude,
and then
and you
got
know,
dude.
power bombed on the pile of tacks, dude.
hey, wait a
Ugh.
minute, wait a minute. And you know
Wait
what's
a minute,
crazy?
wait. Let's think about it. He got thrown off the cage first, then went through the cage.
Went through the
Then
cage.
got come on, man. What the bro?
He got
I'll never
power
forget that
bombed on a
shit.
pile of tacks, dude. And then after the match was
Dude.
Yeah,
over,
that is
he's,
crazy.
he's sitting in the middle of the ring, and they got the close up on his face, and he's literally putting the tacks into his temple.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
And
Yeah,
they
wild
were
that's
no
stuff.
a
rubber
crazy
tacks.
sport.
They ain't no
Who's that
rubber
crazy?
tacks. They were staying there. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
and you can't
FMW shit, bro. That's
Hey,
make
the
a
I
fake.
feel like
FMW
I feel like
Wait,
WWF
wrestling.
hold on. You can't make a fake tack like you can a needle. You can't make a retractable. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
he was putting tacks into his temple, dude.
No, you know them taxes real because when them wrestlers get it in their backs and some of them are
Yeah.
falling off, you can see
They're
the
still
blood.
stuck in there, right?
Yeah.
So wait. Did any of you guys see at the last AEW pay-per-view where the dude took the staple
No,
gun?
when he threw the tax. No,
Well,
I
the
was about
staple
to say,
gun
I
when he
knew he
the
was talking.
staple gun
Yeah.
and what's his name tongue. He put the staple in
Oh,
his tongue.
Swerve.
In
Yeah,
Swerve's
that was
tongue.
real.
They were probably sitting backstage one night, partying or whatever, and somebody grabbed the staple gun, was like, "Watch what I can take." Poof, poof, and they're like, "Oh shit, we can use that now."
Now,
Yeah.
did y'all see where the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar were about to sign the papers for their match? And I think the Undertaker took the pen and drove it right through Brock Lesnar's hand. That was real.
I mean, let's be real. A staple gun, even like if you're talking about not the really long staples, but like your average staple size in a staple gun, that ain't much different than all the tattoos they got all up and down their body.
No, but it's an unusual thing.
Right.
Like,
From our
yeah,
perspective, it's like,
yeah.
wow, I can't believe that. But then
And
if
then
you really think about it, it's like, oh, that
and
ain't
then
much different than a tattoo.
and then at the end of
Actually,
the
believe it or not,
Hell yeah, it's different than a tattoo.
when the match is over, look, when the match was over.
Look, think about it like this, Color. Think about it like this. I got a bunch of tattoos. I don't have a bunch of piercings.
You're right. Okay,
Hey,
fair enough.
But look, when the match was over, you see
All right.
Swerve goes up to a camera and he sticks his tongue out. He still has a staple in his tongue.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, bro.
Man,
Oh,
what about that match John Moxley had? And who was that?
oh, what the big spike, the spike back.
Yes, in his
That was the
back.
spike back in his. Oh my God, bro. Yo, when they showed the side view, I was like, ah! I'm screaming. I'm like, yo.
And
I was
yeah,
like, yo, I
suppose
could
the tattoo needles don't break through
They had
all
to
the
find
layers
a
of
perfect.
epidermis either.
They had to find a perfect angle to try to get that out.
Oh my God. Oh, just thinking of, ooh. Yo, I was like, I never thought. I said he's not gonna slam him on it. I said no. I was just screaming, no. When he lifted him up, I'm like, no, he's not. Yo, when he drove him into that shit, I was like, yo, are you fucking kidding me right now? But the thing is, just to hear the crowd to make it even more intense than what it really was, like, and then them trying to pull it. Oh, when they tried to pull the bat out, like that was it.
You
That
see
was it.
how
I was
what's
like,
his name? You
yo,
saw Yuta didn't even know what to do.
no, like I don't know what to do.
Like they just improvise right now. Just go kick his ass. Leave him alone. Go, because Yuta was trying to help him. Yuta was trying to get it out, and he didn't know how to. And so they were like, go after somebody. Go get, because right now people just standing around. People out there, all the wrestlers looking like, what the fuck? Like,
I would have loved to see
that was crazy.
Man. I would have loved to see the other wrestlers in the back reaction when that shit happened. I would have loved to just say no. I can hit them all like, no way, you're not gonna do it.
The hell? Somebody was pissing.
I hope not.
I mean, what better though than a wrestling?
Fascinated with
What better than a wrestling show to do that
urinating on his end.
What an entry! Like if Michael K was a wrestler, he'd be walking down the aisle pissing on the crowd and shit.
You just sit there and tell him,
yeah,
all the time. Shit. Our show will make you pee at any given time. Please don't listen too long.
That's Michael K for you.
All right, I'm done. Thanks, guys.
It's like walking around with Jim Morrison in your group with him, man. It's like you just start pissing on something.
Now, you went a diaper, Michael K?
I timed it perfectly.
I did too because I put you in the back right away. So yeah.
You were shake nose. I just came up to his donkey. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
It only works with these earphones.
Michael K.
No, I can make it to the bathroom.
So, hold on. Liz was trying to say something.
You're not the only one here.
Hey, Red, White, and Bill says, I know that sound of a tiny wiener pissing.
Why? Because he deals with it every day.
I was gonna say, how do you know that sound, Sean?
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of backfired on you, bro.
Yeah. There's a troll.
Rat yourself out there, dude.
There's a troll gone wrong.
He did rat on himself.
Well, y'all killing it up here. Y'all killing it up here. Good. Great. Now, Liz will try to say something. Miss Liz will try to say
so to be honest, I wouldn't mind having a dolphin tackler named Brett Bear. Not Brett Bear, but Paul Bear. Now that would be cool.
Yeah, tackle
Think of
name,
it, Paul Bear as a tackler for the Dolphins. And also, I just want to give everybody a heads up. Mount Rainier is starting to get active again.
Hold on, you mean like the 100-year in the next 100 years earthquake, like rupturing
150.
again?
Yeah.
150.
Well, good thing I'm far away from
Rainier erupts
freaking.
every
Good thing I'm not
150.
in Puyallup.
Yeah, I know. We're over in Eastern
Well,
Washington. We're far
I'm in
from it
Punk,
Seattle.
too.
I'm in
it's
Seattle,
100.
so
It's
I think I'll be
150, by the
okay.
way. It's
But you'll see
150,
all
by the
the
way, and it
dust.
does erupt every 150 years.
Yeah,
oh,
but
you talking about the
we're supposed to
volcano?
have one. Yeah, but we're supposed to have one that's gonna like make Rainier blow the fuck up.
No, Yellowstone is the one we don't want to blow up.
That's
No,
exactly. That's
no,
the
it's
one you
not a
don't want
super
to go.
volcano.
That's a super
Yellowstone is a
volcano
super
right there.
volcano.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
remember that
Yellowstone is
that
that.
happens.
Yellowstone
That
is an
blows up.
apocalypse.
That's it.
Well,
I don't
That's
think
the
it's
end of
dormant. I don't know
civilization.
if it's dormant.
Yellowstone is
I
an
don't think it's
apocalypse,
dormant.
Mr. Paul.
No, Yellowstone's
Yellowstone
not
would be an
dormant.
apocalypse.
Yeah, that will
Yellowstone's
be
not.
the end of civilization. 97% of civilization be wiped out if that one goes.
You're absolutely right, sir.
That's it.
100%.
That would literally be like a meteor hitting the earth,
That's the
like
only
the
time I would
dinosaur event.
actually hope that that
Pretty much.
It would probably
That
actually be bigger than than the
Yo,
dinosaur meteor.
who sound like it's like Ace
Considering that
Ventura, Special Texas.
the
damn, who's
Yucatan
dog
crater,
barking?
Hey, Liz, that
considering
was
the
Liz that
Yucatan
said that,
crater is
right?
not as big as Yellowstone, Yellowstone would be
Where
worse
did
than the
you,
dinosaur event.
Liz? Where did you hear on the news that it's
Yeah.
active again?
We saw it on YouTube. It was posted, what, 5 days ago? Something like that.
Liz,
You
you
guys
talking
Although the
realize
ones
Mount
in
St.
Hawaii
Helens,
is always active.
you guys realize Mount St. Helens has been active since like 2009, right?
yeah, yeah. You're right on that.
But it's more like
Yeah,
a
but that
small
was even
blow.
farther away from me.
That
That's
one,
some big
Like
shit.
actually erupting inside Crater Lake, dude. Like it's actually been erupting. But
right?
it
But
doesn't.
it's like
It doesn't
that's
go
like
over
a
the peak, so
boil.
nobody knows it because it doesn't go over the peak.
Yeah, but
Not a boil, but a simmer. That's more like a simmer compared to what it could be.
It started erupting in 2009. It's been erupting ever since, and nobody talks about it. It's interesting.
What do you mean erupting ever since?
It is officially in the state of eruption right now, bro.
But hold on a second. I've driven by that mountain countless times and never seen any smoke come from
I
it.
understand, but I'm
He's talking
saying
about underneath.
it
Yeah,
officially
right,
erupted
right.
in
Okay,
2009.
Right.
It has
right.
been in
It's
eruption
just,
state since then.
it's just not erupting. It's just
Right,
moving
it's not
around.
right. It's not a blowout, right? It's like
Yeah,
a
it's not. It
Kilauea
hasn't
type
blown
of
its
thing,
top.
you know?
It's erupting
It's
from
like
the pit.
Yellowstone.
But it's all
But
contained
the
inside the
thing,
caldera, so
Right,
you don't
Mr.
see it.
Polk, almost
the
like
thing about
Yellowstone. Very
Rainier
slowly.
Right,
is
because Yellowstone is not erupting, but it's showing signs that it is active.
That it,
Well,
the
it is,
activity.
the whole area is active. That's what the
yeah.
geysers. That's what causes the geysers.
The
and all.
geysers, yeah, exactly. And it's clockwork too. It's like every hour or 50-something minutes where it goes
Well,
off.
the thing of it is, crypto, is that they actually can get an indicator that something is wrong when they don't erupt. Because when a geyser doesn't erupt when it's supposed to, that means there's
shit's moving
something blocked
around.
and some pressure building up. You know what I
They're
mean?
building up, yeah. They need to
Fucking
go down there.
volcano.
Somebody need to go down there and relieve that pressure, man.
Yeah, caller, we need you to get in there.
Now, I will say this: Old Faithful, it is known. It is
can
a
see him
fact
going
now.
down there in a fire suit.
It is a fact now that Old Faithful is no longer faithful. It actually is off a little bit and is not so trustworthy anymore.
I can imagine Color going down there in a fire suit, poking holes in there with some kind of glass straw, a metal straw.
No, you just get one of the dumb tourists to get off the boardwalk and jump on the ground. It'll open the hole.
Oh man.
Send Tour down there in one of the best of suits.
Damn.
You know what? The interesting the thing is, they tell you not to walk off the boardwalk because the fact of it is, like the land around the boardwalk, whatever spot you're visiting, like that land at any spot could be like a half-inch thick, and just fall through. You know what I mean? Like you can't trust the land to walk on out there. So when they tell you to stay on the boardwalk, don't get off of it, dude, because like any spot could be like a half-inch thick and have boiling sulfuric acid racing underneath it.
It will Fred.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you always have
You
those
can literally
gummy
die
gummies
just from
that
the
do it
fumes.
anyway.
There you go.
Oh
That's
yeah,
right.
it smells like rotten eggs throughout the whole
Yeah.
place. Crypto.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's sulfur.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
it's
the
it's
sulfur.
basically a huge sulfur pit, is what it is.
So the thing with Rainier though is that there's two things happening. That's an active volcano, but we're supposed to have a huge earthquake. So what Liz is talking about might not be in regards to the earthquake. It just is just Rainier. But if we have, because like Rainier could go off, but if it goes off because of the earthquake, that's like the dangerous one.
Well, yeah, because it'll
Yeah,
get cap. It'll blow its cap off if that happens.
yeah,
How
and
far is
Tom,
how far is the city from
it'll go to
Rainier?
the ocean.
I mean, Seattle is pretty far away from Rainier.
Oh, so you just have to
Like
deal with the
I
ash
would have
cloud.
to do, yeah, the ash and stuff is probably what I
Yeah.
would have to deal with.
Yeah,
But Tom,
and you're talking about like the
That's
front
the
lines
dangerous
of
thing.
the
You
ash.
don't fly in ash clouds.
Right, you're talking
most
about the front
hazardous.
lines of the ash. Like you
But
guys would be
I
like,
have gas masks. I have filters and a gas mask like ready to go. Because I mean, I do energy audits in crawl spaces and attics and shit, so I already have it. But I'm like, I have one extra, so that way
Yeah, that
it
shit's
does
sick.
go down.
now
That
keep
is
in
very
mind also
hazardous to
that
aviation, man. You definitely
there
have to
is
fly
one
around
there is
ash
one
clouds.
difference that probably will, or I should say, there's a possibility that it wouldn't be as bad as an eruption like Mount St. Helens because it's more of a perfectly formed cone. So if it erupts, it's generally going to be more of a vertical eruption, whereas Mount St. Helens blew off its whole north face and split
Yeah,
into Spirit Lake.
Man, I seen
You know,
that
yeah.
video. That was that is
Tom,
You know what's crazy though is like until you actually experience weather like that's poisonous to breathe in.
Mhm.
I went to a Seahawks preseason game a couple seasons ago, and there was a lot of smoke in the air. And the next day, I was so sick, like I felt poison, like seriously poison. So I mean,
Oh yeah,
imagine like if that volcano goes off, that stuff will like
because
you'll
that ash is pumice. You're
yeah,
You only
you're like you
breathing the
can't breathe
methane
that stuff
fumes that
in,
was
man.
produced
You will,
too.
wow.
yeah, you
Yeah,
will die.
it
You're
was some
You
methane
basically
will
fumes
die
that you was
breathing
you're
that
probably
in.
basically
inhaling too.
and you're also
Yeah,
breathing in that ash is basically ground up glass. It's ground up
Yep.
that's all it
obsidian and
is. Yeah,
pumice.
Yeah,
and
You know,
it's
let's
fucking
it's
not
crazy.
grounded up
forget
glass.
and let's not forget the force from the blast itself coming down.
hmm
Coming down and moving.
Oh yeah,
So,
Straight across the land.
there's a whole bunch
Like
of little
traffic
towns
listening.
around Rainier. They're done
well,
for.
again, should be not
so
quite as affected like St. Helens because it's people. The thing that they didn't realize is that the hot spot underneath Mount St. Helens is not perfectly centered underneath the cone. So when it erupted, the whole north face split off, and then
Yeah.
the land all around it and on the north face blew out and up. So
Oh,
it didn't blow out the top of the volcano like a traditional volcano because the hot spot wasn't directly underneath the cone.
So for all you guys that are interested in this stuff, Google Mount Rainier and the blast zone, and do the images. It'll show you exactly where it will go.
Yeah,
Well, the
I'm
estimated place
curious,
that will
Liz. I'm gonna
go.
check that out. Thank you.
For Rainier, no, I think I'll just take the chance and not watch that.
now
Right.
they
Maybe
also did that for
someone
Yellow.
from
Well,
Florida
it's good
might
to
get
know
a
though,
call.
because that way, if you're in the area where it could go to, and it could go as far as the Pacific,
And
that's what they're thinking
technology's
because
gotten
of
better.
all the lakes and stuff.
Right. And technology's gotten better since 1980. So they're pretty sure they know like how it's gonna go. Like because again, back in the 80s, they had no way to know that the hot spot wasn't perfectly underneath the cone. You know what I mean? Like now they know. So they can project how it's gonna actually blow out in
Right,
what direction.
and they did the same thing for Yellowstone because I seen that about a few days ago where they
Right.
had the thing for Yellowstone and they can give you an idea what's going to happen if it blows. And it's not good.
So imagine the meteor that hit the Yucatan Peninsula that killed the dinosaurs.
Hmm.
Yellowstone volcano is probably like twice the size of that meteor.
Yeah, yeah, it is major. That thing
Yeah.
goes the whole earth may
So, guys,
vibrate.
we're coming on the 2 hour mark. We about to wrap this up because we always keep it to 2 hours, right, Dolphin?
Sir.
What's this?
Yes, sir. It's time. It's that time. Appreciate everybody on the panel. Appreciate everybody on the chat. And we'll be doing this again in 2 weeks. But tomorrow we'll be making our debut with you guys with the WCFL Dolphins Talk at 10 a.m. in the morning, right here on the TFTV network. And I appreciate it. Y'all. I'm looking forward to it.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you, Shay. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Hey, Shake, I want to holler at you.
Hey, I gotta ask Donk a question though.
What's up, Special K?
We all know that you recycle and you don't use plastics. And what do you do with your rubbers?
Oh my! I'm not answering that question.
He leaves them in.
Do you reuse them? Do you put them in the dishwasher?
Oh my god!
I'll tell you what. I'll send
That's
them
her
to
business.
you.
That's all I'm
I'll
gonna say.
send them
You're gonna
to you,
send
and
it to him.
Yeah, I'll start sending them to you so you know.
I don't need them. I don't need them anymore.
Tonk, just tell him you don't know. That's her business, bro.
You notice he said he don't need them anymore. So
Yeah,
what
I
was
don't
the
know what
first
that
use?
means. What you,
He said anymore. Wait a minute.
what are you
used it
celibate
before.
now, Michael K?
Little snip, little snip,
now. Michael
little
K celibate now, everybody.
little snip,
Yeah.
little snip.
Yeah, but man.
No,
listen,
you said you don't need tongues anymore. You used tongues
No.
before?
Rubbers.
I use the sheepskin ones, so they're biodegradable.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I told you he leaves them in.
Yeah.
I'll see y'all in 2 weeks, man.
There you go.
Does that answer your question? Before we
Does
out
that
there,
answer your question?
we learned three. We learned three key important facts. We learned about condoms. We learned about volcanoes, and we learned what a tongue wiener smells like when he's peeing, according to Sean.
There you go.
Shout out to Joe Riss with his membership. 24 months. Okay, got his tubes tied.
Yeah, that's what I heard, Joe Riz. That's exactly what I heard.
Speaking of the circus,
wow.
leave it to the wrestling show to be like a circus.
Oh man!
I bring out the best in everybody.
I'll let you guys.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys. See y'all in 2 weeks.
Now we know Michael K is never going to have aspirations to take over the internet because he can't pass it on to his kids. So
No, I wouldn't do that to the internet.
All right, y'all. Peace out, man. See y'all in 2 weeks.
Hey, caller, I'll talk to you back.
Yep.